Prayer is an opportunity for you to connect energetically and emotionally to the thing that you are praying for.
This is the Deep Dive with AdamRoa.
Hello, Deep Divers. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Deep Dive podcast. Today is a Deep Dive musing, and I'm your host, AdamRoa, which means it's just you and me today. Yeah, we're going to dive into what I've been thinking about a lot, which is the power of prayer, specifically during this holiday season where the magic is so potent. And so now is a really great time to manifest and set your intentions. So what you've been calling into your life can show up. Your visions, your dreams, your prayers can show up. And I want to cover why that's the case right now, so you have an understanding of that. And I also want to cover how you can adjust your behavior to really set yourself up for success. So that's what we're going to cover today. And before we do that, I just want to remind you that on my website, AdamRoa.com, there is a permission album that I created, blending my spoken word poetry with original music in studio for 3 months with storytelling and personal development that is such a unique ceremonial listening experience that it's tough to put into words. But if you resonate with my messages, then I believe that you're going to resonate deeply with my art, and it is transformative. I've seen some amazing shifts and realizations happen for people who have listened to the album. You can actually go to the website, and on the website, you can see the tribe section where there's testimonial videos from people who've listened to the album. And so I invite you to check that out. And there's also a permission essential oil, which is a ceremonial grade essential oil blend made specifically to accompany this album that is now available. So head over and do that. And then lastly, if you get value out of this podcast, I'd really appreciate you taking just a little bit of time to leave a review on iTunes, subscribe, follow on YouTube and Spotify and iTunes and just all the places that this exists, because it would really help to spread this to more people. And I feel I put so much time into this because I do think that it can really help. So if you agree with me, please just take 30 seconds out of your day and support in that way. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I'd like to talk about the power of prayer. And first, I want to set the context for prayer, because I grew up Catholic, and prayer to me was something that I thought you just asked God for what you wanted, and then He was supposed to give it to you, and that's how prayer worked. And if you were a good person, then He answered your prayers. And that was kind of my perspective. And I got a little jaded in the Catholic Church because I saw so many people who went to church every single week who I didn't necessarily feel were like good people. I said prayers every single week and I didn't necessarily get them. So the combination of things, I just didn't see results. And over time, the word prayer took on a religious context. And so it was off-putting to me. And what prayer really is to me, truly, is setting powerful intention for what you want in your life. And because at some level, we are not separate from God, right? Whatever God you believe in, it's Allah or God or a higher consciousness, your higher self, the universal love source, like whatever works for you in your reference for kind of like a higher power. We're not separate, right? Like as we fractal down from this God consciousness, we are all like raindrops coming from one cloud, right? And so at this stage, we can experience ourselves as separate, but we can recognize that at some level we're not. And so we're praying to a higher consciousness, which is actually us at some level. And so when we no longer separate, like this prayer is someone else supposed to give it to me, and we recognize that this is me setting a powerful intention because I recognize that these various aspects of my own soul are hearing this, and I am the creator of my reality. And when we set these powerful intentions and when we say a prayer out into the universe, and I shared this on my social media on Facebook and Instagram recently, where I shared this perspective about prayer, and I shared one of my prayers, and my prayer went like this: I pray for the strength to let it all go so that I may never lose hope, and I can live in a state of gratitude so that my life becomes an act of devotion. And so it is. And that prayer for me, I am setting what I want to see in myself, and I'm praying for the strength to do that, because I recognize there's a part of my unconscious mind, there's a part of my higher self that is hearing this and saying, oh, okay, this is what you consciously want. All right, let's make that happen. And this is why the holidays are such a potent time, because collectively on the planet, more than any other time of year, people believe in magic. People believe in Christmas miracles. People believe in the holiday spirit. You have all these children all across the globe that believe in Santa Claus and reindeer and snowmen and elves. They're believing in magic. And you have all these adults that are seeing these children and remembering the magic that they used to believe in. They are also all of these adults that are being able to give gifts, and so are excited by being able to excite and spread love. And you have the new year approaching, where so many people set these powerful New Year's resolutions, and they say, okay, this next year I'm changing this. I believe that's possible. So we are in a field collectively of magic, the belief in what's possible. And when you have so many people believing that magic is possible, that things can shift very quickly, that miracles can happen, when you have so many people that believe in that, it becomes exponentially more likely. I've talked about Burning Man a lot on this podcast, and Burning Man, something that's special about it is it's 75,000 people, and all of those people believe in the magic of Burning Man, which creates an environment where magic happens. Talk to anyone who's been to Burning Man, and they will tell you that just magic happens at Burning Man. And the reason is because you're in a field of 75,000 people who believe that magic happens at Burning Man. And so you get more synchronicity. You get these magical experiences where, like, one of mine was, my lips were so chapped, and I was like, and I'm way out in the deep ply, and I'm like, I could really use some. Does anyone have chapstick? And everyone's like, no. And within 3 minutes, I look down, and I'm in the middle of like the desert, right? And in the middle of this, right at my feet, is an unopened tube of chapstick. What? But that is not uncommon. People have stuff like that all the time. It's wild. And so if that's what can happen with 75,000 people believing in the magic of a festival, what's possible when millions and billions of people believe in magic, that magical things can happen? It creates an environment that is ripe for magic to happen. And so more than any other time of year, really drop into what is the magic that you want to see happen in your life. And recognize that the power of prayer is not just to say it and then want something else outside of you to shift. Okay, that's a misconception. It is for you to say it, and the very act of saying it bring you into an emotional state of having received it. Your prayer gets to be a gratitude practice of having it already done. Are you praying for peace on this planet? Amazing. When you pray, are you feeling it? Do you feel peace? When you're praying for more financial abundance in your life, are you feeling that financial abundance? Prayer is an opportunity for you to connect energetically and emotionally to the thing that you are praying for, which shifts your vibration, which is the process of manifestation. And so be really intentional with your prayer at this time and spend time doing it. And if the word prayer carries any sort of negative context for you, then great, shift it to be really intentional with your manifestation during this time. Be really precise with your intention this time. You have an opportunity to step into and swim in the collective belief of magic right now. So do it. Do it and watch and feel the magic as it moves to you to give you exactly what you've been calling in. Thank you for being someone who believes in magic. Thank you for being a part of the collective field that makes this all possible during this time. I want to remind you that always, in all ways, you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved.